didn't know all this. Like, these are so much gems being dropped, and I'm like, whoa, like.
I'd like them to introduce themselves. So we'll start from left to right, top to the side.
MC Hammer.
Hi guys, my name is Elsie. That's it.
My name is Rachel, also known as _RayK47.
I'm Oyenda.
Hi. Welcome to first service.
Hey y'all, it's Team.
Hi.
It's Josiah.
Hi, Josiah.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
I thought I deserved enthusiasm. Also known as Vicky. 200. Can I call you 200?
Questions for 200. Thanks, good. My name's Emma.
Hi. You see the consistency that you guys give everybody else. My
name is Toffee, like the sweet, because I'm sweet.
I like that.
Damn.
Good evening, everybody. My name is My name is Musumala. I'm a friend. Let's go,
Hi guys, my name is Kelly, but the streets know me as Chichi.
Hey people, what's good, what's poppin', what's going on? It's your boy Fikayo Adero. Never give up.
I keep smiling.
I keep smiling.
That's my family. Today we're gonna be talking about friendships, relationships. We're gonna start like the first question here is: do guys just want sex?
Jesus.
The answer is no, by the grace of God.
So nobody can answer that question.
I'm not led to speak, no.
This is sex.
You start to find the person with the intention that matches your own, so that you
People that don't answer question in exam. To be honest with you, yes, in the right context.
Right, that's gonna see that.
Oh, and then if you're watching, I want sex. That's the rule. But I want it in the right context. Because sex outside of his barriers is headache. And no pom-pom is that sweet. No pom-pom is that sweet for that headache. But I want those things shine in the right place, you get. I don't think about it all the time. But do I want sex? For sure. When it is right.
Wow.
Glory.
I feel like it depends on where the person is in their present life at that time. Because let's not lie, there are guys that they're in their fuckboy zone. Some people are already like past that. Some people are like ready to settle. So I feel like it just depends on the person and where they are in life at that time. But let's define the bare minimum.
What? That's a great question.
For the ladies, I just feel like when you start begging for love, it's when you should because you are.
No, so not for the men. That's a very toxic idea.
No, she's trying to speak to us, ladies.
For both, but she's trying to exclude us from that blessing.
Okay, it's actually true. I'm sorry.
For me, like bare minimum has to be. Bare minimum is quite high. Uncompromising, like a kind of sense of morality. So you understand that the life is not just about you. So if your babe doesn't have that, then one heartbreak left. One. I need a woman. I need a woman who is steady. I don't really care about the amount. Really willing. That's a bare minimum. You have to be willing to adapt and let go of every, the moment you know more. Do you know what I mean?
Here's the other thing, right? I feel like unfortunately communication has really gone down like a lot. And it's like women are not mind readers, men are not mind readers. Right? So here's the thing, even in your friendships, and hey, consider friendship before you decide to spend the rest of your life with that person. It's not every day that is going to be the passion keep. In fact, it will rarely be the passion keeping you together. Communicate. You'd be surprised that a lot of the time people don't know. A lot of the time, because we're all going through things individually, like everyone is going through things, everyone processes things differently. Something that you feel like was okay may have hurt a person and you have no idea, right? And even if it's hard, be vulnerable enough to just talk to the person about it. Not that you didn't tell them and then you're like, baby, it's over, I'm so sorry. Oh baby, wait, let me first explain myself. No, I can't even talk to you right now. I'm so sorry. No, just get out. It's like, wait, what happened? And they're just confused. Same way with guys, like, no, I'm not doing this, you're violating. No.
because I feel like in past relationships, it's been violated. Like you crossed like the boundaries in some type of way, and I didn't feel safe anymore. So for me right now, the bare minimum is like you have to respect my boundaries, and I have to feel safe and secure with the relationship. And then I would leave once you're constantly violent. Like if I talk to you about it and then you keep doing it, I have to go because now it's my peace.
Growing up, we always heard from our parents, oh wait, oh don't have the sex, but nobody's telling you why you should wait. I feel like this is a big question that people our age are trying to find answers for. Why do you choose to wait? Well, if you do,
I feel like our parents are not stupid.
in fact, definitely.
But you know, I know my family, if they ask me for the truth, I'll tell it. I'm not sure they want that either. So
nobody asks.
Yeah, I wait because I cannot meet myself in the wrong environment, you get? Because there is a nature in me that I cannot activate prematurely. I don't think there's anything wrong in sex, but obviously like I've realized from how damaging experiences have been, and generally globally as well, when you look at like just even somebody being touched when they're young, there is so much that is there that I think it's so complex that it's better that you learn about it in a safer space and to like learn about it prematurely in relationships with people that don't actually want to stay in your life. There's so much that you pour out of yourself that you don't even really understand yet, and you just can't be pouring it everywhere. Do you know what I mean? You go and now sleep with someone and then you now start having a headache. Like you have conversations with the person and they're telling you, I suffer with sleep paralysis. Now you're not struggling to you get patterns that obviously I feel like there's a deeper level of these things that man already know like that. So I cannot find out because when I'm not struggling to wake up, I've seen patterns that have developed for some reason from people I've done things with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, guy, one situation put me inside chokehold that I had to call out from the mountains. For the Lord. I mean, he came to rescue me.
For me personally,
Sorry.
personally, I'm choosing to wait because I think that, kind of like what Josiah touched on, sex is more than just physical. I think it's one of the deepest forms of intimacy, and so if done prematurely, seriously cloud your judgment, and it can create a false sense of intimacy with a person where you think you think that you're a lot closer than you actually are. It makes you put up with things that you never would have put up with before.
It turns the yellow flags amber. Sorry, the red flags amber.
So I think one of the biggest reasons that I'm waiting is because it builds such a level of discipline and self-control, because temptation and things of that nature don't suddenly end once you get a ring on the finger. In my experience, those guys that can actually hold out until they get married are the type of guys who have the self-control and the discipline to resist temptation even after they're married, even when they're spending the rest of their life with one woman, right? If they can't do that before they have a ring on the finger.
You know, it's a big one as well. Like I've seen, even in my parents' marriage, like when we see like idea, like family, we have this perfect view that everything's gonna function well. But there's bare families that can't even have kids because the mother may have like something with a fallopian tubes. I'll be honest. I know that there's a period that I know for sure that my parents weren't having sex because my mom was going through certain things. I feel like if you can build such a nature, you can love your wife through the moments. Because I think like it helps you not to objectify a woman as a service to you. The level of intimacy that you get from sex in other ways, and you can do that by touch. I mean, there's so many ways to do that. I think if you just choose sex, like bro, it's so boring. The day that I could do it with my wife, we're worshiping the Lord.
Yay!
That's like every dance. You guys.
Because like you just don't want to be in it. No, do you? But it's a lot that can come along with it. And like also there's some people who use sex as like conflict resolution.
Do you get? Oh my god! This is this place. There was one time, I was talking to one babe. And we're having tension. And she said, just come over, man. Just come over. Like, I said, are you mad or something? And that is how we solve the problem. I said, this is a problem. And that day I lost faith in people.
Like, how do you discuss well or effectively with your friends or with your partners? How do you discuss well?
I only have one thing to say. Don't be yelling at each other.
Some people it's different. Maybe they need some time to themselves to collect them, like their thoughts and their like emotions, because you don't want to discuss something when your emotions are on the high, because you want to say, you may say something that you may regret.
You can't take it back.
Don't speak in anger. Like if you're angry, just go back, recollect your thoughts, calm down before you have that conversation. That feeling just brings words that you're gonna regret.
And you're not thinking clearly either. Yeah.
Exactly.
Also be willing to compromise.
Yes.
There are some people who need to take a second, and there are some people who, if they take that second, everything that they wanted to say leaves their mind. So I think, so I think it takes like a lot of maturity for both sides to understand what the other needs in that moment. And caring, valuing, and hearing what a person needs doesn't just end when you're the one that's upset. So just because you're upset in this moment, that doesn't mean I stop caring or valuing what the other person needs in that moment too. Yes, if you're the type of person who needs to hash it out, respect that your partner needs to leave for a second.
Sometimes like the introvert would be like, I'm not ready to talk right now, and then they'll just like leave it and keep it and keep it and keep it. You're not gonna force me to speak.
And I think that's like there's a lot of sorry, go on.
No, please. I'm sorry.
They're reinforcing what is wrong in their head as they're
the whole time they're sitting there. There's no truth.
They're repeating it to themselves.
That's what,
they didn't do this because of this, because of this.
At that point, and you're there like, what did and you're there like anxious, like what people don't realize, like you're trying to hash it out because you're just there sitting there anxious, like okay, like I don't know what's going on, right? So that's also inconsiderate. So yes, take your time, but even something as simple, something that we learned in our friendship is that sometimes she'll just be like, hey, I can't talk right now. I'll talk to you tomorrow evening. Give me to tomorrow evening, or give me until this time. So you're not like, when are we going to talk about it? Or should I, like, I don't want to seem like I'm pushing them too much. Sometimes simple as that. Then I know I'll free you. Wednesday evening comes. Hey, remember that talk? Can we just? And then we have the talk. Look, that's lifelong friendship.
I think as well. So like having like a playbook or I don't know, a rule book, a constitution. I will try my best not to run away, but if I have to, allow me. You can define all these things so that you saying I can't is that you actually can't, not that you just don't want to. Right? Both have a responsibility to teach each other about ourselves. Nobody should mind read, and the one moment that is compromised, everything's compromised. The most important one as well is like in relationships is I'm not telling you your problem, I'm addressing a problem. So like you can't personalize things, and I live by this law or rule. Just take things seriously, not personally. So I'm telling you something, it's not by virtue of you being the problem, it's by virtue of me and you colliding, creating a problem. Because we come from two different worlds, right? Because if it compromises the position of the partner, then you don't have trust. I.e., like, there's some people that want to leave the house when they're angry. If you do that every time, the trigger is that every time I want to talk, you leave. So I'm not going to talk. So sometimes you have to, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to close the door.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's like when people do it, like you have to realize you can't act like yourself in those situations, as in what you want to do. Because it's not about you. It's about the other, it's about both of you. Sometimes it's that you actually have to sit there and sharp, take it, or find another means to do it and write it down. A lot of therapists tell you that two people are saying really valid things, but because when I start to express, it's just a trigger for you, and you respond by your face or like all these little things are so like deep cuts to the soul.
Yeah, they are. In relation to what Vicky was asking, I've come to a point where I understand things can be an explanation but not an excuse. So the explanation of why I did this or why I spoke in that way is because it's that time of the month, but that's not an excuse. Some people, when they're going through really hard things, they shut out everybody in their life. They're not replying to texts.
You saying that, would actually be enough, but a lot of people don't even do that. I think communication is so simple. Say what is true out loud.
It's the truth.
You can say, I actually don't feel well, but like, I know it's not an excuse, but please bear with. That would be enough for me, because you're telling me your reality, but you're not reducing me. Do you know what I mean? That's it. But a lot of people don't do that.
A good reminder to have is that love is hard work.
Bro.
Like, relationships are hard work. And it means being super, super patient. It means biting your tongue sometimes. It means doing things you don't want to do, but you need to do. It's hard work. And I think for me, what has helped is being so intentional in the relationships and the friendships that I get into, that I consciously tell myself, I'm making the choice to be in this relationship now. As in, I will tell people, you are now my person. I'm choosing for you to be my person. And so when the hard work comes, when the difficulty comes, when I start doubting and questioning, I realize like I made a choice, and so I'm gonna stick beside it.
For sure.
Toxic abuse and things like that aside. Please. But I'm talking in my
quick
This toxic thing is very interesting because ignoring somebody is like divorce. Then I'm not going to talk about it, or is it like it's creating like a deep tear into something? It really is. It's like Jenga, like this is what Jenga example. Like you're just taking out things that compromise. Yeah, it creates holes. Eventually, the structure is just compromised. It's having an argument and then going back to reassure the person of the truth. People need to learn how to apologize.
For sure. Right? It's not this YouTuber nonsense.
It comes down to humility, but at the same time, it comes down to like bad training. People think apologies are because of wrongdoing, and they're not. Apologies are actually just like affirmation. They're a way to like affirm and reassure. So a lot of time I know that I don't actually need to apologize, but the reality is I want you to know that I see the compromise you made for me in that situation. So I say, hey, I'm so sorry for like how maybe hard I was on you, but I needed to say what I had to say. But I'm really sorry that. So thank you for listening to. I would reassure you, but you haven't done anything wrong to me. Like, we haven't wronged each other. But it's me saying I'm sorry for the possibility of what I intend. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I write everything down, what they say, and then I answer everything chronologically.
Really?
Yeah, and it sounds crazy, but that's what my mentor did with me, and it made me realize, you say a bunch of BS when you're angry and hurt that you don't actually mean, and you need to be caught up on it. So I write everything down, and the ladies hate me for it. They're dissing me because a bunch of people just say a bunch of things and they don't take no responsibility, and I hate when people don't take responsibility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say what you said back to me and ask you more about it. If they're humble enough, they see that I actually am trying to hear what they're saying.
The argument.
I tell them the truth. I would say at the beginning, I don't want to upset you, but do you mind if I write it down? Like if they mind, absolutely they hate it, then there's no point of us having a conversation.
Has that happened to you?
Yeah, of course. I just say, well, let's not have the conversation.
For real?
Yeah, because you don't want to be held accountable. In a court of law, what do? Everything's recorded for the purpose of being able to be referred to.
Right.
And it sounds silly until you know you didn't say that, and somebody's saying you had to say that. If it's just you, two in a room, who settles that? Then equally I can be held accountable. Words, you know, like words of permanency, like I'll never do that. I'll never ever go out with you again. That hurts a person because now the future is already dead. No word ever goes unmissed because we all hear it subconsciously. We hear the words. We're all products of words of our parents, and some of us are literally trying to prove to our parents things that our parents didn't know that they damaged us. You know what I'm saying? Because of a few words that came out. You know, like my mom sometimes will call my little cousins. They'll get her angry. Shama, you're just stupid. Everybody in my family will immediately come out of their rooms and tell my mom to take that back. The face of the child, so that he also hears that it's wrong, that he was called stupid, because that will break and make his future. But that's how she feels. So how do we fix that? Is like, actually, there's a better word, or actually, that was stupid to do.
Yeah.
Right? You're a liar versus you lied.
There's oil on your head.
You get what I'm saying?
Glory!
It's really like me who called you a liar. I have to find a way to renew my mind from that idea because I believe that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, imagine the person actually does all you want them to do, you still believe that they're a liar. That now is your problem.
First part of the question first.
Women,
She's pushing an agenda.
Yes.
We'll see you guys on another episode of